All right, so we can use inverses to solve a linear system, so like a system of linear equations. So matrix A is going to be the coefficient matrix, so like coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables. X is the matrix of the variables, and B is the matrix of the constants. And I'll show you what all this means with numbers. So once you write out your system, you then find the inverse of matrix A. And to find your solution, which is X, you take the inverse of matrix A times matrix B. All right, so it's best if your equations are in standard form. If they're not in standard form, you go ahead and change them. Standard form is when you have X and then Y and then equals the constant. So the coefficient matrix is matrix A. It's 2, 5, 1, and 3 because those are the coefficients of the variables. So 2 is in front of X, 5 is in front of Y, 1 is in front of X, 3 is in front of Y. Okay, these are the variables, X and Y. And then what comes first is the first variable, and then the bottom one is the second variable. And then 3 and 2 are the constants, so that's the constant matrix, which is right here. So this is matrix A, this is X, and this is B. So what it told us to do is it told us to take the inverse of matrix A times matrix B, and that would get me X. So I'm going to teach you how to do this in a calculator. We can do it by hand because we just learned in example 1 how to find the inverse of this, so we could do it by hand. And then we know how to take in matrices once we find the inverse and multiply. So we could totally do it by hand, but I'm going to also teach you in your calculator. All right, so in your calculator, which this is the only one on the test you'll be able to use a graphing calculator on, the rest you will not be able to. So I do want you to know how to do this in a calculator, but don't start doing every problem under the sun using this because you're going to have to prove your knowledge on your tests. So where you go is you go to matrix. It's above this x to the -1 button. So you use second and then that button. All right, here's your matrices. So mine already has some stuff in them. I'm going to go over to edit and I'm going to hit enter on A so I can edit A. A is already set as a 2 by 2, 2 rows, 2 columns, which is what I want. If yours isn't, just type what you want there and it will set up your matrix. So I'm plugging in 2, 5, 1, 3. So when you're typed, just hit 2, enter, 5, enter, 1, enter, 3. Okay, now get out of there, do second, and then the mode, which is quit. Okay, now let's type matrix B. So go second, matrix, go over to edit, and hit enter on B. We want B to be a 2 by 1. So look at what B is. B is 3, 2. So you're going to go down and you're going to hit enter, and you're going to hit 3, enter, 2, enter. Okay, get out of there. Second, quit. All right, so now we're ready to actually do this part right here with the A to the -1, which is inverse of A times B. So do second matrix, hit enter on matrix A. Now this button right here, x to the -1, that'll find the inverse of matrix A times, now do matrix B. So go back to matrix and hit B, either go down and hit enter or hit 2. So it's the inverse of matrix A times matrix B. So here's our answer. We got -1, 1. So x equals -1, y equals 1. Okay, we're going to try this again. Okay, let's try this one on our calculator again. This is in standard form, meaning it goes x and then y, then equals, and then the number. So that's what we want. So our first matrix is the coefficient matrix. It's 5, 8, 2, 3. All right, then our variable matrix, the first variable is x, the second variable is y, and then equals our constant matrix, which is 3, -2. Okay, so remember, this is matrix A, this is matrix X, this is B. And what we want is we want to do the inverse of matrix A times matrix B. And the order does matter. So let's go over this again. We're going to go into our calculator. The first thing we're going to do is go to matrix A. So we do second, and then this button that above it says matrix. We go over to edit and hit enter on A. Okay, it's a 2 by 2, which we want. So I'm going to go down. I'm using my down arrows, or my right arrows. And I do 5, enter 8, enter 2, enter 3. Okay, now I get out of there. I do second and then the mode button, which is quit. Okay, I go back to the matrix, second matrix. I go over to edit, but I want to edit matrix B. So it's a 2 by 1, which I like. And matrix B, let's see here, is 3, -2. So I'm going to go down using my right arrow or my enter button. And I'm going to change this to be -2. Make sure it'll give you an error if you try to use the minus sign. Make sure you use -2. Okay, that's better. So do second, quit. All right, I'm going to clear this out. So how we did this, we do second matrix. We want matrix A, so we just hit enter and it puts matrix A. You do this -1 button, x to the -1. That's the inverse times matrix B. Second matrix, you want B, so just go down to B or to 2 and hit enter. And then hit enter on this. And so x is -25, y is 16. So this would be really useful on the ACT to save you time. If you had a matrix, like a system of equations you wanted to solve, this would be a wonderful way to save you time. So let's look at a word problem real quick. Okay, a large pizza at this pizzeria costs $6.80 plus 90 cents for each topping. So that's like this, $6.80 plus 90 cents per topping. I'm going to use X for topping. X is the number of toppings. All right, I'm going to do Y is the cost. So that's the cost. Okay, at the other place, the cost is $7.30 plus 65 cents for each topping. So 7.30 plus 65 cents per topping. So 65 cents times X. Okay, how many toppings need to be added for them to cost the same, not including tax? So these are not in standard form. So the first thing you need to do is you need to subtract this back over. And so I'm going to rewrite that as, come right here, -0.90x plus y equals 680, because that's in standard form. So do that on the second equation. Subtract that x back over so you have x and y on the same side. So you have -0.65x plus y equals 7.30. Okay, now you're in standard form, so now you can write your matrices, which are -0.90 and 1, and -0.65 and 1. It's x and y. And this matrix is 680 and 730. All right, so this is matrix A, this is matrix B. So same thing as we've been doing. You're going to go into your calculator. I'm going to go to the matrix. I'm going to edit matrix A. So I'm going to have -0.90, 1. And I'm going to have -0.65, 1. Okay, I'm going to get out of there, second, and quit. Back into the matrix. I'm going to go over and edit the second matrix, matrix B. All right, and so I'm going to put that was our solution matrix, our constant, 680 and 730. All right, I'm going to get out of there, second, quit. Okay, so remember that now that I have it typed in, what I want to have is I want to have the inverse of matrix A times matrix B. So how I get that to do it is I go second matrix. I just hit enter on this. All it's doing is putting A. Then I do the -1 button for inverse times back to the matrices, second matrix, and I do B. And I hit enter. So I get X equals 2 and Y equals 860, 8.6. So X is 2, that means 2 toppings will be, Y was the cost, so $8.60 at each place. That's when the cost is equal. So 2 toppings will give us an equal cost of $8.60 per pizza.